Welcome back for another yummy update. I'm bringing you the latest, hottest, sexiest, juiciest information while cryptocurrency continues to capitulate and say to us, hey, I know you've been waiting 4.5 years for your bags to go up, despite every other freaking scam Ponzi in the world going up, but 4.5 years isn't long enough. So, okay, financial conditions, friends, I've got to remind you, the forward-looking indicator, I know, friends, whenever we come to these periods of time, everyone says, man, are we just like totally wrong? No. Well, it could be. It could be. I mean, we could be living in purgatory right now, friends. But the forward-looking indicators, they're still bullish. So they take a compute of like, you know, the US macro and interest rate expectations, and basically it's meant to be improving. Now, you might say to me, but Tommy, you said this exact same thing 3 months ago. And I'll say, I know, Habibi Albi, welcome to the scam of markets. You just don't have this specific time. If we knew exactly when moon, you would never be invested until the when moon part. You just don't know. We've been waiting for so long. But business ISM is expected to tick on up. That's the business cycle. And obviously, altcoins are an extension of that. They are an extension of the business cycle. They are infrastructure of Bitcoin. Okay, so when everyone's feeling optimistic and they're actually acting optimistic in the economy, it correlates to alt seasons. Okay, that's what we're waiting for. Now, friends, I want to take a bit of a side step. I want to show you this. This is absolutely bonkers, man. So there's a schizophrenia simulator made by somebody. This guy with actual schizophrenia, he made this. Let's just have this. Look how spooky this is, man.
What you're about to see is a schizophrenia simulator created by someone who has schizophrenia on what it feels like to have these hallucinations. Check it out.
Look at the water. Hear that? Oh my God, it's a bird. Oh, you see the bird? So cute. Look how close you are.
Now, obviously, this is just one individual's experience, but I'm curious for anyone else that has schizophrenia, how much it lines up with your experience. Let me know below. For those
absolute bonkers, man. Absolute bonkers. I actually saw this doctor, interesting enough, this young doctor, sir, and he explains kind of like our brains, okay, how we're always like computing an object, feelings, and time. It's like a triangle. I forgot what the third thing was, but basically schizophrenia means fractured. So you remove, so when you have schizophrenia, your ability to correlate time to things is out of whack. So it's kind of interesting, but before I show you this, it was very interesting how the brain works. So here was time up here, and this was like your feelings and his objects, right? So these still work. You can still see objects, and you still know how you feel. The problem is the time. It's all fractured. So what does that mean? It means, this is paranoia, right? So this is why, friends, only the paranoid survive in markets. It's quite interesting. You almost got to become schizo yourself. So what happens is when you are, the example they use, you could be like driving your car and you indicate right. Let's say you indicate to turn right, but then you see that the car behind you also indicated. Yeah, but your ability to correlate time is gone. So you can't think about, hey, did they indicate after me or have they always indicated? I don't know who they are. You don't think like that. You think you've indicated right. The person behind you's indicated right. They think your conclusion is they followed you. They're following you, you know? And then you might say, okay, but Simon, what happens if they indicate and you haven't indicated yet? Well, your perception of time is still blocked because now you think they can read your mind and that they knew you were going to indicate right. They can read your mind. Do you see what I mean? So everything just gets fractured. But I found it very interesting because it's tapping in a bit into what we do at the tops of crypto cycles, where Michael Saylor makes a poll right here, and he says, you know, should you mortgage your house to buy Bitcoin or should you sell Bitcoin? And 85% of people said mortgage your house. You know what I mean? You see what I mean? So we're looking for these little things where like the time all correlates and it's all matched. It's very, very important. That's why some of these amazing tops and bottom signals that we might pull out, they might come in handy later on. I found it fascinating. Now, friends, I want to show you this as well. unit bias is a real thing. So this General Sir went into an XRP community chat and they wrote XRP's market cap doesn't matter. Okay, so, and he actually said it on voice. He goes, okay, we got 2 tokens. They're both $1 each in price, but one of them has 2 million supply and the other one only has 2 supply. Okay, and then this guy, this is an XRP believer who responds to them. Okay, so let's actually listen.
Yeah, this dude wants me to bring. How the hell can you sit here and ask me such a stupid ass question and ask me, oh, if both tokens are $1, which one has the most growth potential? Obviously, both of them do because they're both $1, you idiot. What are you talking about?
So that's real. It's real. I know, friends, everyone out here, you know, because we're in markets and stuff out here, but obviously the unit price doesn't matter. Okay, it's how much of the coins there are out there. Another example, right? If I tell you, hey, I'm getting fat, and they go, oh, what's the last piece of pizza you ate? And then I chopped off, not a little pizza, I put like a crumb. I said, this was the last item I consumed. You go, no, bro, how much have you like eat? Well, show me the whole pizza. You get what I mean? That's what the market cap and unit bias. So like you can eat a pizza by eating a pizza. You cut it to 0 pieces. It's just literally one big slab and you just eat it. Or you can chop the pizza into 5 slices, 30 slices. You can chop it into little cubes if you want. You know what I mean? Some freaks out there do that. It doesn't matter. You're eating a whole pizza, right? So it's the same thing with market caps. It matters about the token supply. But don't let that be your limiting belief, because whenever people FUD market caps, it's right before bull markets happen. Okay? Because what happens is prices go up a bit and then people who are non-believers, they're in disbelief and they're hating the rally. Because at one point, friends, see, we're looking at Bitcoin having a 2.2 trillion market cap. Yeah, at one point, Bitcoin only had 1 billion. And people said 100 billion would be too much because you need too much new money coming in to buy up the Bitcoin miners dumping. Now it's at 2.2 trillion. You know what I mean? Look at XRP, 170 billion. So these market caps in crypto, and they're not different to like stocks where there's infinite dilution and stuff out here, right? But obviously you did hit points. Like it's very, very interesting. The 100 billion market cap is a clear resistance for many coins. XRP stopped at 100 billion. BNB stopped at 100 billion. Cordanzo stopped at 100 billion. Solana stopped, I think, at 60 billion. SHIB stopped at 45 billion. Doge stopped at 90 billion. I know these numbers off by heart, right? Very interesting. Yeah, so 100 billion for altcoins is like a very high rate. These things stop around there. Found that fascinating. I've also shown you more cracker news earlier from today, friends. The first state-issued stablecoin in the USA is now officially live. So stablecoin supercycle confirmed pDAI. So you have Wyoming, the Wyoming state. We love everybody over there in Wyoming. Not What-oming, but Wyoming, of course. And they've issued their stablecoin. Remember, stablecoin supercycle ties into... Look, there's different ways to play it. If you want, you can buy Ethereum, you can buy ChainLink, you can buy ENA, you can buy any of these others, if you want to participate in them. Personally, my favorite bet of all is pDAI, which is at 0.53 cents. It's about 190x away to $1 dooney. You have some bad price prints now here. These are all fake prints. There's some sort of data error, or the maybe the volume is being racist. It was the volume. It was racist volume. So it's hanging around here, 180x above way. Could it go and fulfill the destiny? We'll see. Got some friendly post here from Ivan, our friend Ivan on tech, the technologist. He goes, man, if this is the cycle top, Ethereum holders will die literally as virgins. Didn't get to experience all-time high at all. Hexagons and pulsicons, I'm afraid to even think about it. If you feel bad, think about the pulsicons. You will feel a bit better about your bags. So obviously just throwing some friendly banter. I know everyone gets a bit stingy and stuff out here, but yeah, just friendly banter and stuff out here. Just refreshing PulseChain down with the rest of the market. Looking at this out here, Ethereum capitulating, dunking, everything's pooping on down. We did liquidate Jams win for the 6th time, remember, friends, as well. So where do we go from here? Well, I'll just show you the big chart as well. Do you remember I was a bit nervous because I was like, man, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green weekly candles for PulseChain, even though we didn't do much. There was just kind of trash. 7 green weekly candles, thus does it here, and we've had this little retraction. But we're just going to have to wait for this period to rinse out and then continue. Now I have the chart here for Jams win, which is just funny, man, because like, just friends, Jams win. So remember, he deposited $19,000 from his referral rewards, and then he opens up a 25x leverage long on Ethereum. 9 hours later, kablonk. We just liquidate him. Just tell you, I show you this, friends. Why a lot of people look, man. I'm here to teach you. Okay, I got to put this in your face a lot. Okay, I literally got to put this lollipop in your face. So you don't understand, friends. I'm trying to prepare you because you don't want to do the average now because you're not winning. You get it? People do this stuff when their portfolios grow because you get confidence because you hear a story. Friends, I guarantee you, someone out there in pDAI, maybe they've got 200,000 pDAI. Yeah, maybe they got 200,000 pDAI. Maybe they've only paid, I don't know, like $500 for it or something. Okay. And then maybe pDAI hits 20 cents. Okay. Now they have 40,000. So they've turned $500 into 40,000. Instead of feeling happy for yourself, which you should, I know what's going to happen. You're going to click on MM or Ivan's thing, and they're going to show you screenshots. Oh, this guy's up $3.8 million in a leverage long. And you're literally going to feel deflated. I'm trying to protect you and trying to help you, okay? I'm trying to show you leverage trading. This is how it ends up, dude. You end up being a literal, you just end up being a joke, okay? That's not how to win at this game, okay? If you're not happy with your size, all right, add more size. That's it. But, we suffer when it comes down. You suffer with the dopamine. But also, you've got to be careful, friends. You've got to have an off button. People don't have off buttons for trading, friends. It's too hard to admit that you've lost your edge, man. It's too hard to admit that you don't have the time and the effort to go do it, okay? That's why, look, friends, look, I'm here showing my face. You understand? Look at all these faceless scum who are like, getting interviewed on YouTube or stuff. There's a lot of faceless scum. They're not providing any value. Oh, there's no edge in these alpha and this trading stuff, friends. Most of them are LARPs, by the way. Friends, I want to tell, maybe I could find this picture, or maybe I lost it, but ZachXBT, friends, ZachXBT, he has a post from 2021. He goes, if there's anything you can learn from me, this was back in 2021, 4 years ago. He goes, anything you can learn from me, from stalking pretty much every single person's wallets, he goes 99%, he goes 9 out of 10 people on crypto Twitter and YouTube are total liars. He goes, they're not profitable. They're liars. They're not making anywhere near as profits as they claim. He goes, learn that from me. I actually went and saw and I tracked all their wallets and I found stuff. He didn't find people doing things nefarious. They're just like, oh, this person's like selling a course, but he's actually trash, okay? So just keep that in mind, man. As well, friends, Ethereum has come back down, touching the CME price gap at 4,087. So maybe that's enough for us to crank on through and continue higher. I hope we get there. I want to give you more yummy updates. Thank you to the baby doll out here. Thank you to Mr. Charles Fisher. Apparently you can order, I don't know what this is for, friends. Man, that is intense. What the hell is this used for? A nipple pegging desk. Gosh. Oh, I know. Topless waitresses so they can serve you drinks. Jeez, man. Well. I mean, it's going to be quite the party, friends. So we keep our tops on here because it's going to be one hell of a bull market when it finally starts in 2035. Friendly reminder as well, friends, the crowd is turning on MicroStrategy. As you saw, the Bitcoin NAV, so the MicroStrategy's net asset value, it's ticked down to 1.34. You see this number here? 1.34, okay, friends? And some of you still don't understand what it is. That multiple is the price of the Bitcoin equivalent on their balance sheet. So you notice it's above 1, which means Bitcoin is more expensive on their balance sheet compared to the Bitcoin on the open market. So right now, it's still 34% more expensive. So 1.34 times, say, Bitcoin 112 or 13,000. Yeah, so Bitcoin's 150K on the MicroStrategy balance sheet. Now, why is this important? It represents the demand, the hunger to take on risk, okay? Now, remember I've told you, people who own MicroStrategy or who own any of these treasury company stocks, they are just sexually confused people. So, friends, what they're doing is, okay, they've gone to a club and they've closed their eyes and they've kissed another person, okay? And then they tell you during the week, they go, look, I'm not gay, but I went to a club and I don't know, I'm a bit confused. They say, I'm not gay, I'm not gay. I go, okay, you're not gay. Okay, what happened? They go, well, I closed my eyes and I kissed a person, but my eyes were closed, so it doesn't count, right? And you go, well, continue. And they're like, well, okay. But, you know, I didn't see who it was. So it could have been a girl. And you go, okay, what club did you go to? And then you go, okay, it was called Twink Nation. And you go, okay. And you go, look up Twink Nation. I wonder if there's a club called Twink Nation, actually. Okay, close. There's Twink Army. So this person's a Twink Nation. You close your eyes and you're like, well, look, I just got to tell you something. There's about 87 dudes on the dance floor right here. And there's 87 people there. But the girl selling tickets at the front, she's a girl. So there's about a 1 in 87, 1 in 88 chance you could be straight. So that exact metaphor applies to the MicroStrategy holders. Okay? Because they're in the closet friends. They're like, no. I love Bitcoin, but I want number go up. Oh, oops, I'm not allowed to say that. Of course you do. Why do you do leverage, dude? Why did you do leverage? You're here for number go up. You're here for the green candle. It's like, no. But I love peace and tranquility. Fix the money, fix the world. Let me put on my mog glasses because I got to mog you, okay? A family-friendly type of mog. You are only in Bitcoin because somebody who was a degen bought it, made 100 times their money, and convinced you it's got a new narrative now, by the way. Let me repeat that again. You are only in Bitcoin today because it pumped up 100x for someone. Someone bought it at 1,000. It went to 100,000. And this person is so euphoric, they go on MSNBC and tell the rest of the world, fix the money, fix the world. And it's inspired you now to get in. Okay, but you're forgetting how I started that. They were a degen at the start. Okay? They made 100x. You're not making your 100x, bro. But they've changed the narrative. Why? Because they're okay with the 2x. Welcome to markets. You say, oh, but I want 100x now. Okay, yeah, we know that. That's why you're in MicroStrategy. That's why people they go further out the risk curve, because Bitcoin, a lot of it has been priced in. Not fully priced in, but it's been way more priced in than, say, deep value contrarian stuff that's not even listed on tier 1 exchanges like PulseChain. Look at these, friends. The crowd is turning. Josh Mandel, not to be confused with Josh Womandel. So Josh Mandel, please stop asking me if or why I sold MicroStrategy at 1.5 NAV. He goes, you don't seem to get it. I actually bought here, but then Michael Saylor sold. He said they wouldn't sell, and then he did. I am announcing that I will not speak in support of anything that Michael Saylor does again. Michael Saylor said he can change his mind with a 3-year plan if he decides to hold a fire sale. But he doesn't get to use that I changed my mind excuse. A man is only as good as his word. And I'll add his pointy elbows. Where's the on-chain tracking? They're still working on it, right? This is like a game. He must be laughing at us. He watches the next MicroStrategy True North episode. Let's see how my minions yes me tonight. So he's obviously making a joke that Michael Saylor's got a lot of bootlickers. It's kind of funny. No, he doesn't, dude. You're here for number go up. Just shut up. Everything I said is true, okay? You're only in Bitcoin because it pumped to the freaking moon, okay? Now you're just pretending like a 2x is good, but actually you're just peddling other people's narratives because they're okay with the 2x. They wanted to go 100 again. It ain't going 100 again. Newsflash. Look what he says. I would like to at least say it was a colossal truck up to issue the guidance to begin with. If he knew he might renege. Renege! Obviously, friends, when I told you, MicroStrategy, they buy a bit of Bitcoin, and then in the reply, Michael Saylor says, we're changing our mind now. We're allowed to issue more shares. Whoopsies, I'm going to change my mind from 2 weeks ago. So what that basically saying is, you know how the NAV, first he said, oh, I'm protecting the shareholders. And now he's like, no, wait, I'm not. I'm just able to. Because, friends, if you own MicroStrategy, if you buy it right here, you are buying a $150,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so you might say, hey, isn't it a good idea to sell expensive, my friend Somi? Yes! Hence why Michael Saylor is issuing more shares to dump on them. And that's why they're losing their minds. And then we're saying, but you signed up for this. No, what they actually thought they signed up for was Bitcoin dominance goes to 99% and the NAV just keeps running up and up and up and up. It's comical when you think about it because you realize, wait a minute, you're just a literal altcoin degenerate, except that you're just buying it on a stock market share. It's just not on a decentralized exchange. It's just you bought yours on a centralized exchange. But it's still humans and emotions. Therein lies the problems, friends. These people don't actually know what they're doing. Do you get it? You do get it. But you're going to see all of it basically play out when Bitcoin dominance goes down lower, and everyone's going to realize that, you know,
my good sir, we must
it's not
remain
as what
vigilant.
they think. And you and I are going to be fighting to the end.
My good sir, we must remain vigilant. We must remain armed. We must remain primed and ready. We must mog together.
We are still holding, friends. See, it's interesting. Throughout the bull market, people look for different ways to get more exposure, leverage long, right? It all ends with number go up. You know, we saw it in 2021 as well. How do you think people ended up with Dogecoin? Because people did, the rotation goes from Ethereum to large caps to mid caps to small caps to dog shit. So the crowd goes, hey, let me skip all the things in the middle. Let's go straight to dog shit. That's what happened. It's going to be a great cycle. When it finally actually goes up, like, subscribe, Billy Button, or kid you soon.